Alright, next up we have the Cure tab. You're going to want to go ahead and probably make use of this tab pretty regularly. You can monitor and remove debuffs in combat. I don't know why you'd ever not want these checked. Right here you put what you want it to track and who you want it to track on. Any spell that can be cured with Cure Poison on the raid, any spell that can be removed cursed on the raid. These two here correspond to poison and curse down here. I can't use disease or magic, but I can cure poison and curses. So if anybody in the raid gets hit with a poison or a curse, it turns their health bar to these two colors. There's a few things you can ignore if you'd like. You could ignore specific classes if you're a jerk. Non-harmful ones if you don't particularly care, like if the curse is beneficial, for example, or the poison does something good. There's slow movement, like if it's just a slow movement. That's more for like paladins. You don't really, if you get hit with hamstring or something, paladins can blessing of freedom out of that. You might not want to particularly see that. There's also short duration. I have that checked because I don't care if the debuff lasts more than 3 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and show you an example of a custom ad. Right now I have Frostbolt selected, but what you would do if you didn't have it in there, like most people assume don't, you'd go ahead and type it right here in the in this, and you just type out what the debuff actually says, like how it's spelled exactly, and Frostblast is actually spelled Frostblast, and you'd hit save, and then what that would do is it would put it in this list here. I've got a few other ones as well, but Frostblast is one of them. And I have my custom color set right here. It's this ugly orange color, and if I can find a Drake around here, I will show you what it looks like, because the Drakes also cast this on people. Let me go ahead and find one. I think this guy over here's killed all of them, but if you can get hit with Frost Blast, it'll turn your health bar a different color. It's a lot faster than DBM, and it's certainly a lot faster than having someone call it out. For some debuffs you only have a second or two, and then the person's probably dead. Here's one right here. I'll show you. Get him to cast something on me, and maybe not aggro that guy too. But keep my health up here. But essentially, he's going to cast Frostblast. It's going to turn my health bar this nice maroon color, so I know who's Frost Blasted. I got some friends here. But yeah, that's really helpful. You can set it up to do all sorts of things. Like I have Slag Pot in here. That's how I know when you're in the pot, and you don't have to tell me a million times, because I already know, because you turn this color, and I can usually tell before you even know. Frost Blast as well, if you get it set up, because you really don't have time with the lag from vent. You don't have time with the distractions. Like you really don't have time. You have to get that set up so that you can see that. You can change these colors here. These aren't the colors I use. I'm using the default settings right now, so it looks pretty similar to what you have, but I actually have my colors a little different. I have them a little fancier. They're like polka dots and things, but for different things. But yeah, you can go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and change these colors by just clicking on them, and it pulls up that standard little bar there. You can change the colors to something that you like to see, or whatever. The bar color on health bar and aggro bar, my aggro bar is really small, so you can't really see it with this setup. There's also, it'll play a sound, and it'll make a big display when debuffs show up, but Deadly Boss Mods usually does that anyway. And if you have it set up to track it, you'll see little icons appear on everybody. Every poison and curse will appear on them, so that's generally not a big deal. But that is the Cure tab. It's pretty important. You want to have that set up for most fights, to read most things, like Frost Blast, for example. During Saffron, when he puts his curse up, you're going to want to have it do that. During any fight, during Noth's curse, you're going to want to have it do that. Pretty much any fight where there's a debuff that you need to get off pretty quickly, you're going to want to go ahead and have that set up for that fight. XT, for example. I don't have it in here right now for some reason, but light bombs, gravity bombs, you're going to want to have those in there so those show up. All sorts of fancy things, but that is the Cure tab.